since I don't have work today, I'm gonna make dinner. Some of the ingredients I gotta cut: tomatoes, onions, bell peppers, carrots, potatoes. I'm gonna use these medleys, so petites. So what are you doing here today is just prepping out the vegetables. I got the red bell pepper, the green bell pepper, and the carrots to start with. On the side we have the onions and the tomatoes and the potatoes. Also have garlic on the left side or right side of it. I just wash the vegetables for now because you know we gotta wash them. He's a little slow, but it's alright. Just wash them all, except for the onions because the onions does have skin. If your bell peppers came in with the stickers, take them out because that's nasty. That is a no good food. Cut the ends off on both peppers, right? Put them aside because we're gonna use them later. We can use them for other stuff. I cut those in half so I can get into the seeds and take them out because we don't need the seeds and we don't need the pith of it. Just grab the bowl for there for the waste bowl, you know. It's easier like that. Just take them out. The tops, since we cut them, there's still some in there that we can use. So peel the stuff that you can use for that, and then I just made a mistake on doing the other side. But I have some from the bottoms for the greens. There you go. I'm gonna start cutting them lengthwise first. There you go. If there's more pith in there, just clean them out and just cut them lengthwise again. In culinary terms, a bâtonnet, about not a julienne. Juliennes are thinner. The red peppers, since they're longer, so I cut them in half. And then I started cutting those two into sticks. And the tops, I cut those two, so I cut the red peppers in half again, just do the sticks again. Just so the greens and the reds are in the same uniform shape as possible. Makes it more even in the cooking process. Put them aside if you can, or put them in a bowl if you have. Carrot, apparently. So for the carrot, it's not that I'm on the lazy route, but since the carrot are thinner, you can just wash them, like really scrub them out, just to get the dirt out on the skin. And I'm gonna use the skin and with the skin, cut them in like that. Doesn't matter, because you can't eat since it's gonna be a stew style. You can eat the skin of it since it's gonna be braising for a while. It also keeps them together while it's braising. I mean, and that's what we do in the kitchen when it's you're gonna do stocks. Stocks are basically stewed vegetables and bones put together to make a flavoring broth. You just keep the skin. It holds together, it holds better, and it gives more flavor for it. Plus, you get the extra fiber from the carrot. Now we're doing the, I got 2 Roma tomatoes right here. I got the tops and the ends off, cut them in half. What do I want to do next? I'm just gonna cut those. My knife is not as sharp as you can see. So I just diced them because they are gonna be an extra flavoring for the afritada. It'll give a color. It'll give that fresh tomato taste to it. It's good for you too. I mean, we are gonna use a starting sauce for it. I will be using a tomato sauce in a bit, just to give that extra oomph of tomato and the color. We'll talk about the sauce part of the afritada later when the video gets to that. But right now it's just cutting the vegetables. Definitely put the onions and the garlic together in one plate, just because it's easier to just toss it right in the wok when we start cooking. Because we gotta saute separately between the chicken, the aromatics, and the vegetables. And when the skin of the onion is too it's in there, you just use the end of the knife to force it out. You know, it's fine. Just be careful for your fingers. You want to keep your 10 fingers, I believe. You know, you want to keep your 10 fingers intact. But if you can get with that with your there you go. I just cut them in lengths, and I'm just gonna dice them. I'm gonna dice them. Yes, it's different from the steaks that we did for the vegetables, but the vegetables needs to stay intact as much as possible, as long as possible, than the onions. The onions can just disintegrate and it's fine. It's gonna add more flavor to it. It's gonna be easier to saute as well. Get the browning right. Now I'm using I believe another name for them is the Maui onions, which is the purple onions. The purple onions is sweeter than the yellows or the whites, and it's mostly used for Filipino cooking, since we have an abundant purple onions back home, and it just gives that a more red flavor to it. Now next gonna be the potatoes that we have. Again, I've got the petites, the medley petites, because it's small and it's colorful. But if you don't have a russet potato or any white or red potato would be fine. I suggest using the white waxy ones or the red ones, because they hold in the braising liquid much better than the russets. The russets do disintegrate faster and quicker. You know, russets are like the brown ones that you do usually for fries, because they do have much more they have more water than starch. The waxy, like that one right there, is a white potato, which has more starch content to it, that rather than water, so it can hold better while braising, because afritada is a braising technique here. Braising and stewing are just it's different. Stewing is for small cube meat, and braising is much larger meat, mostly bone-ins. That's just what he means. But it's similar. It's in the same family. We're switching here to so I just smashed the garlic here. Now I'm just chopping it. We want them not too uniform, not the same, but just enough so all the oils comes out. And the allicin is good for you. The allicin is I believe is what gives the garlic its health benefits. So you know, if you eat garlic and all that stuff, you gotta smash it first, and then you gotta release all the oils of it. The oil is always good for garlic, you know. The more garlic, the better. Here we have the wings. They're a little frozen, but we are gonna start with the wings now. I was just cutting them in. So I'm splitting up the drumlets, the middles, and the tips. You don't have to put the tips if you want, but I do like them because they're extra. There's something to munch on. They're pretty nice. It's up to you. Most American style wings don't have the tips of it. It's just the drumlets and the drumlets and the middle points. Unfortunately, some of them do have feathers left, and then you gotta clip it or just pull them out. My hands were a little wet to pull them out, so I just used a shear and just shear it off. You can see they're pretty stuck in there. just taking them out. Here you go. Good job, buddy. So we'll just be doing this the whole time, just cutting, cleaning the chicken wings, getting them ready to go in the wok. I do season them before I wok them. So how you cut the wings, I mean, most of you guys probably know how to cut wings already, or cut chickens off the bones, or take them out together. Just find the joint, either twist them out or find a joint and cut it between those seams, and it should be easier than that. There you go. So they are pretty frozen still. I did wait all day to let them thaw, or I did a slow thaw method rather than putting him in the sink and getting him all watered down. It's just a little harder when they're frozen and when you don't have a very sharp knife. But there you go. You just press it through. If you cut it through the seams, you're technically just cutting the tendon out, or the caps, which are pretty breakable, and it's fine. Not like the bones. You gotta have a cleaver on your hand. Here you go. Just find a seam, cut it through. All right. Here we have a hot wok ready to go. Put some regular oil in there. Get it all nice and lubed up. First, aromatics, onions, garlic. We gotta saute them, not too brown, but not too sweaty. Not too moisture, just the right amount. You don't have to do it like what I did. You can just stir it with your spoon, make sure everything is nice and level. Everything is sizzling away. A little fast forward here. I did not salt and peppered it. The pepper would burn with that. I did salt it with the potatoes here. I put the potatoes with the aromatics because, for the sole reason of potatoes need to get brown, needs to cook longer. It gives it a starting line. My fire is on high. That's why you see all the smoke. So if you have a ventilation system, you probably you should. I say put it on high, just so the smoke doesn't go around your house. Next, I put peppercorns in there, and I did put bay leaves. 1 or 2 is fine depending on how much. I say per pound, just do 1 per pound. One good sized bay leaf per pound, and about a handful of peppercorns. Instead of putting more pepper, I just put peppercorns. Give it that while it's toasting with the aromatic, it'll give you a nice flavor and aroma rather than spice. So that, give that nice. You see how it's changing color, it's getting browner now. It's called the Maillard reaction. Woks tend to do better doing that than pans, but if you don't have a wok, that is fine. I spilled some right there. Gotta clean that up later. Yeah, if you don't have a wok, use a regular pan. Regular pan is fine, and a pot is fine as long as it can give you a hot pan. You see how the smoke? Put some more oil in there for the next batch. This time I put down in a medium just because it's a little too high. Just get back to the regular temperature. I did the carrots, the peppers, and the tomatoes. Next, this goes a little quicker because I just need them to brown a little bit and just to get them started. Since we don't want to cook them too much, it'll start their vibrant color. You can see it's nice and colorful already. And imagine that with the potato medley that we have. This dish is very colorful, and that's what you want because it has a lot of red in it. You want as much color diversity as possible to let everything pop out, you know. I'll just pour this in a second. There you go. Pouring it in. This time I'm gonna make a hotter pan. We're gonna continue on with oil. Once it's hot, pour your wings in. Doesn't matter if it's a little frozen or not. Just put it in. Let it do its thing. Let it brown up. Toss it once in a while, just to give all sides even browning. As you can see here, I'll toss them in around. You see how hot? You can tell by how hot your pan is. The wok is this. Just a little bit. It's already brown in the sides. Some of them. That's what you want. You want as much brown as possible because there is a lot of red in this dish. Let's do that. A little salt, a little pepper. This time I will put pepper in there, just because it's meat. Not too much, not too little. It's still by taste though. The sauce we'll be pouring in here is a mixture of Filipino ketchup, about a cup of it, a cup or a cup and a half, and then you got half a cup of soy sauce. I preferred to use Filipino soy sauce since it's darker and they don't take out the sodium much. Give it a full soy sauce flavor. I also put a can of tomato sauce in there, just to give it body. The body will help it thicken up later on in the day. So I mix up all the stuff here, back to the dish, just to get them all incorporated before I added the sauce. Just pour everything in, make sure it's all mixed. There you go. And then back to the sauce is ketchup, Filipino soy sauce, tomato sauce, tomato puree, whichever you have. Just like a small can of it is fine for this much meat, because you will add water. There you go. That's the sauce right there. So you can see it does have Filipino ketchup has a different taste to a regular American ketchup, which is tangier and sweeter. Tangier. This one I prefer is a UFC banana ketchup brand or ketchup brand. It's a little spicy, which is good, but it has that nice and sweet in it. And right, other than this brand of ketchup is a little shinier. I don't know, I like it shiny. And you can see it's already incorporated like maybe half a let's say start with 2 cups of water, let it boil down, check it out. You see all the colors are popping out now. You got all that brown in the chicken wing, just a little bit. And I added fish sauce right here because fish sauce is it's another substitute for a salt in Asian countries. Filipinos do use a lot of fish sauce as well, not just for dipping sauces but for incorporating them in their dishes. This specific one I use is from the family recipe that I just made it easier as a weeknight kind of meals. So I did put a Worcestershire sauce as well. It has a distinguished flavor that the soy sauce is lacking. A lot more umami than your regular soy sauce. So I did put a little more of that, just to give an of nice in the body of flavor, just to round it out. The Worcestershire sauce helps round out all that soy sauce and the fish sauce and the ketchup and the tomato sauce together. I put a little bit of pepper, a little bit of salt. Salt would be enough already actually. We're using, because we did put fish sauce in it. If you find recipes that it will soy sauce for a lot of Filipino dishes, because it is a substitute for sauce, for the salt. Here, just let it boil and then let it simmer a while until it reduces to it reduces by not half, but just enough to let it soak in, let it braise, because it is a braising technique. And just when you think it's like getting tighter, then turn it off, let it rest a little bit, and enjoy it with white rice. Yeah, white rice, not pilaf, not flavored rice, plain white rice, right off a rice cooker. Just because since you have a lot of flavor here going on, you want to taste every single flavor in there, and the white rice just complements everything. And as you can see, it's boiling down, and I did turn it off a little bit, and this should be the end of it. I'll see you guys soon. Thank you.